a Heroes Welcome podcast. Welcome, listeners, back for another special Disney-bound episode of a Heroes Welcome podcast. I'm your co-host, Maria Laquerre-Diego, and I'm here with my lovely co-host.
That's me, always the lovely and princess. I am adopting princess today, Liliana Baylon. Let's do it. We are here with Lisa. Lisa, how do you want to present yourself to our audience today?
I'm Lisa Androvich. I'm a licensed marriage family therapist and a registered play therapist. I'm a certified synergetic play therapist. And I also want to introduce myself as, I think this is really important. I'm going to use a Disney metaphor.
I love it.
Because I think that's what we're all about today. I'm going to say I'm Sorcerer Apprentice Mickey.
Ooh.
Because it's like this is my first time I've presented and I've shared the stuff that I have, but this is my first time presenting on this sort of scale.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important because you're taking a chance on me. And I want others to know out there that they can do it too.
Yes. I love that.
And
Sorcerer Apprentice Mickey is a great metaphor. I love that.
And it's like, yes, we can do it. And Mickey knew he was able to. He had like all of this stuff inside of him. And yes, he did like take the hat and it got messy and the brooms went out of control. And I love it. It was as it was supposed to be.
Yes.
Now, as I remembered it in my mind, as I thought that it had like this beautiful happy ending where the sorcerer gave Mickey the hat and that it was like, and that's how it ended beautifully. And it's not really how it ended. But I'm going to keep that. And I think I need to hold both parts.
Yeah.
Both of those things can be true.
Yes.
Both can be true. But I love that it's messy and water's going to get spilled.
Yes. Yes. I love that you're giving yourself permission.
Yes.
That this is not we're not seeking perfection. We're not even promoting perfection. We're not doing that.
Not at all.
Yeah.
But I love that we can all come in any place that we are and that we all have something to share.
There you go.
And I think that's the beauty and the magic that you are providing and that Disney does as well. Like, and so it goes hand in hand beautifully. Yeah. And so that's how I want to introduce myself.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being here. Can you let the audience know, because you're part of the Disney Bound, as Maria just shared. So we're counting already the weeks for all of you to be in this amazing, magical place.
Yes.
Have so much fun. Can you tell us what is it that you're going to be teaching, sharing with others?
Yes, I am presenting it's called Disney on the Brain, the application of neuroscience in play therapy to foster connection and empathy.
I love this. How did you start interweaving neuroscience and Disney?
It started early on. I love the brain stuff, but my mind works in metaphor and I can't quite grasp a topic unless some pop culture reference comes inside of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or else it's gobbledygook. and and I want to say all the big words, but I don't get it. I mean, I can recite it maybe, but I'm not getting it.
I love that.
And so, and even there was a part of when I was learning it, it wasn't, I didn't embody it until I could make it my own. And so I'm a proud Disney adult. And as I started, they're popping off. As I started to think about Disney characters and just little snapshots, like, oh, this is this part we're activated. This is it. And it started when I was talking to caregivers. And they can relate to it in understanding this piece. And there was a little bit of, oh, I see. And then we can talk about, oh, I wonder if this fits for you.
Yeah. It's nice to give them a solid frame of reference, right? Because, yeah, a lot of what we do in the mental health field is very abstract, right? It's very abstract thinking, abstract concepts that we apply. And when working with kids, teens, and adults, even, like that stuff doesn't make sense. But if we can say, hey, so when we think about the Encanto movie, and we talk about family generations, and how communication breaks down, or the passing of generational traumas, they can clue in so much easier than if we're just like, so this happens in generations, and it comes down and we embody it, and you may not even know. And they're like, what? Yeah. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I love using Stitch to talk about what happens when activation comes and there's this alarming part, and a child can get a little obnoxious. And adults can get a little obnoxious and mischievous. And we can use those types of words that sound icky in my body. And it's not that. And I can hold Stitch, and a parent can hold Stitch, and we can see clips of the movie.
Yeah.
And look at those snapshots, just this moment. And it doesn't define the whole of Stitch. And that's what I love, because then it doesn't define the whole of the child or the whole of the parent, just the snapshot.
Yeah.
And then have a conversation between two different Stitches.
Yeah.
And what's it like for you? And what's it like for other? And there's a little bit of space and curiosity. And it's playful. And have fun. And so this past on June 26th is Stitch Day, 626. We had, and I'm a really non-directive play therapist, but we had Stitch Week.
I love that.
And I had goodie bags. And there was a little bit of neuroscience fun, and they could read about it. But then there were activities that they could do as families with just silly little things that could increase connection. And it became just a thing. I'm like, we're gonna have Stitch Week every year, just to add something. And we're not talking about sympathetic activation in the nervous system, because then that sounds like I'm going to school.
Well,
and the child doesn't want that.
It's not their language. It's not the kids' language. It's not the parents' language. It's not even our language. Like, we don't typically talk, even doing case consults. We don't talk that way. You know, we learn it that way and we respect where it's coming from, but practical application, we can't talk to our clients like that.
Right. So this is where the metaphors, the analogies, the images, the movie clips that you guys are mentioning come into play, because we have clinical language that we tend to use for systems processings. But then how do we translate this into clients? And I think that's where you come in, right? Which is like, how do I talk to clients as a therapist, play therapist? How do I talk to clients about how the brain functions, the automatic responses that we have, such as Stitch? I love that I will not be able to unlink that anymore.
Right?
And how do we do that so that from the place of curiosity, which is exactly what you were mentioning from the beginning, right?
Mhm.
How can we be curious about these symptoms in order to make sense of them, to foster connection and empathy?
Mhm. So at the end of the day, that place of curiosity rather than shut down,
Yeah.
of you're obnoxious or you're mischievous, and that means this. Of, oh no, I wonder what's going on for you. And let me get a little closer and lean into it
Mhm.
because I see the whole of you,
Yeah.
not
Which
the one thing.
I even like using the image, right? Like all of you are listening to us, but I just want you to know that Lisa is wearing this shirt where she has sadness and
Embarrassment.
thank you, embarrassment. And sadness is in top of embarrassment. Like, let me make right. It's a beautiful image just to help, right? Our clients. Like, have you ever had this? Right.
And that's why Maria, I love how we got to choose these feelings as our little like I'm calling them my sidekicks.
Yeah.
And I thought that these two worked hand in hand in Inside Out too,
They do.
so beautifully.
Mhm.
And I think with caregivers, they are here and can be channeled as these whispering voices of wisdom.
Yeah.
To continue to foster that empathy and reflective awareness to increase attachment.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so
I
that
mean,
can be interwoven
I
so
mean,
beautifully in it.
when Inside Out two came out, I was like, oh, clearly there's our theme for our next Disney conference. Because it's what we do. And not only is that, but kids and families are seeing this, they're drawn to this. It gives us common language
Yes.
that they understand and can receive.
Mhm.
Because talking about shame and embarrassment and sadness is really difficult. But when we use those narrative techniques and we can compare it to characters that are outside embodiments,
Mhm.
right? We can move so much faster, but that connection and that rapport that you understand me. Yes, if I tell you I'm having an embarrassment and sadness day, you get that. You know what that means.
Mhm. Mhm.
And we can speak in this connected place. I get so excited.
Well, I'm
And
so excited.
and then and then I have to bring in, on the other hand, there is this place with metaphor. There's the dark side too of not all metaphors are created equally. And this metaphor, the metaphors that I'm using as this teaching tool and are mine. And then I want to give option and so it's that jumping board. And so part of what I want to make sure to bring in to this to foster connection is to talk about how do we then let's bring in opportunity for your metaphor.
Yeah.
because this works for me.
Mhm.
And it may not work for you.
Mhm.
And that would be the height of my own hubris to say, here's Stitch, this is yours. Take it home with you. It's your pet now.
Right.
And you
have
have to
use it
love
in this
Stitch
way.
like Lilo did.
Right.
And goodbye. I'm out of here. No.
Yeah. No, it's permission
Can't be that way.
giving, right? It's permission
Mhm.
giving.
I was like, I don't
And
know that Lilo loves Stitch so much. You guys remember the thing like, I'm not touching you? Because
Yeah.
that's the first image that came to my mind when you said that. I was like, wow. Which is exactly what parents, caretakers, and children go to, which is
Yes.
lean in, you're too close, go away. How do we connect? How do we create that empathy when you're telling me to go away?
Mm-hmm.
she put some serious boundaries up.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's so good. It's so good. So Lisa, this is more just personal curiosity, but we did not know each other before you came to Disney last year. Is that right?
No, we did not know each other.
So why in the world, besides being a self-identified Disney adult, like right now, but what made you take the leap to come? I mean, you had no connection to me. You had no idea what to expect. This was the first time it was done. What made you interested in coming?
This was a training of my dreams. Like if anything, like, oh my gosh, we could have a training at Disneyland. Yes, sign me up. So when I saw that, and I think I signed up relatively later when I saw it on social media and then looked at the speakers, the only person that I knew was Liliana, because Liliana was my consultant when I did
Okay.
my intro to synergetic play therapy. And I was like, oh, double goodness.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, like, how can I get away from this lady?
Are you kidding me? I was like, yes, sign me up. Yes. And I thought, this is possible.
Mm-hmm.
This can be something. And then, I mean, and then when we were in this group of like-minded individuals, that it gave me permission, that it was like, it's okay to do the things that I've been doing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Nice.
That, yeah.
I'm okay as what I'm doing.
Yes. Well, and you're needed doing what you're doing. Nobody can do what you're doing the way you're doing it. And yeah, hands down. I mean, the response has been the connections made were worth it by itself, let alone like what we've learned and the experiences we got to have in the park together. But the connections and the rapport, like our WhatsApp group is so flippin'
Yeah, I was
active.
gonna say, for everyone who's listening, so not only you're going to this amazing training, you're gonna be fed like no other conference have fed you before. You're gonna be taken care of. Then they're gonna introduce you to the WhatsApp group, which hold on, because from the moment you arrive, they're like, who wants to go to this ride? I'm in this ride. I'll hold the line. To even now, it keeps going, sharing what's happening with each other, embracing, empowering each other. So you become part of a community once you attend this training.
Yeah.
It's truly like no other.
Yeah.
In other groups that I've been in other cohorts that I've been in that are longer or that we meet in for longer groups of time, it may be that there's connections between individuals, but the cohesiveness of the entire, like, that
Yeah.
Yeah.
is something unlike anything that I've seen. I mean, that just brings tears to my eyes, and that's just magical.
Yeah.
It's pretty darn special. It is. And it was not it wasn't like a goal. I wasn't out to be like, this is going to be like a rockin' community that's going to like, but I think the connection, a lot of the feedback I get is that there was a lot of just show up as you are and you're accepted. Not only are you accepted, but you're celebrated in a way that, Disney adults are not welcome everywhere. People who have fandoms and do geek stuff, like that's not always accepted.
Yeah.
And so this community is really built around like, not only are you welcome the way you are, but you're celebrated for who you are and how you show up. And you don't have to be like everybody else in this group to feel cohesive,
Yep.
right? Like this is not a Star Wars only group because that is my fandom of choice, right? Like we're all marginalized in some ways. And I think this group has been really such a safe haven for a lot of us that feel alone in doing what we've been doing. And just knowing that we're not doing it alone. And not only is what we're doing great, but it's necessary.
Yeah, I agree. So for all
And you don't even have to like Disney. You don't have to be a Disney person.
Nope.
It has value outside of it. It brings play. It brings true play in because we're really doing the play.
Yeah.
We're living the therapeutic powers of play rather than talking about them.
Yeah. Which is something that Maria and I, for all of you who have been listening to us for a while, thank you for listening to us for a while. But that's exactly what we've been saying, which is we go to trainings to talk about play therapy, but exactly, we're talking about play therapy. Most of the conference that we are go from training to training. And then at the end, we're trying to catch up with one another, but we're exhausted. We go exhausted, we are exhausted and come back like we're not able to make a sentence in the next couple of days. This conference that Maria is hosting is completely different. You have 1 day of training, 1 day of play. Actually, start with 1 day of play. I think I catch up late with last time that I went in. So it was like the integration of we're going to learn, we're going to play, we're going to learn, we're going to play. And then in the afternoons, like we were all catching up and it is a lovely environment that you created, Maria. And we're thankful for it because it's not just let me talk to you and let me teach you while we're here, which is still teaching. It's not the playing component that Lisa is mentioning. So this has been our experience. Lisa joining in this part of being a presenter for this conference now. But all of us who have presented with Maria at Disney have this in common, which is it is a beautiful way of being with one another. So kudos to you for Lisa. First year going as a participant. Look at you, second year shining all the way. And now presenting. So for all of you who are listening, I think Maria mentioned there's 4 spots left. So hurry up. Maria, remind them when it starts and then registration for anyone who cannot catch up.
So right now as a recording, we have 4 slots and the deadline is either those 4 slots go or the 24th of January is our cutoff for registration. The conference is March 10th through the 15th. And it's offering up to 21 CEs that are also NBCC and APT CEs. So it'll help you for both. You do not have to be a play therapist, but you do need to be playful because otherwise you're going to be really uncomfortable. And that's okay too. But yeah, I am just elated. Lisa, I am so excited for you to be a presenter this year with me and that you're taking a chance. I know that this is like a big step for you as well. And what an honor for me to host you at Disney to do that.
Thank you. I'm filled with gratitude.
Well, thank you, Lisa, for being here. For all of you who are listening and are going already, please ask Lisa questions. She is amazing. This whole idea of how do we create and foster connection and empathy is needed. Yes. Between families, between us therapists, between our field, like it's just needed, period. So please go to her training, take some notes, and have a blast. Thank you, Lisa, for being here.
Thank you, Lisa. Till next time, guys.
Bye.